Today will be a demonstration on how to apply a tip and blend it properly for an enhancement. First, we are going to start with removing our polish. If the client has any polish on, we want to remove and clean the nail. Then we are going to push back our eponychium, remove any dead tissue off the nail plate. If you have any cuticle grown up, you want to get rid of that. Okay. You want to see what tips you were using and decide to file your free edge to match the well, the inside of the tip, so it fits properly. You always want your tip to fit from sidewall to sidewall. This tip, we're actually going to make it a little wider because this hand doesn't take the size tips that it needs. They will pop off. So when you're measuring your client's tip, you will make sure it fits from sidewall to sidewall without any gaps or without any overhang. So once you get your tip sized up and you get your shape of your free edge to match the stop point inside your tip, you are going to remove your shine. Your nail file has two sides. This one is a 100/180. You always want to remove the shine off the natural nail with a 180 or higher. You do not want to cause any damage to the natural nail. So we're going to lightly remove our shine. You could use a buffer if you had one. Also, with the same abrasive, you still want it to be a 180 or higher. So once we get all of our shine removed, we are going to take our clean disinfected manicure brush and dust it off to remove any dirt and debris. Also, like I said, if you want to check your tip again, make sure it's sized right. We always check it. Okay, once you get your nail filed, you always want, or buffed, remove your shine. Always use your dehydrator. Removes any oils, cleans and dehydrates the nail. That way your product will have maximum adhesion, whatever you are using. So we're going to take our tip that we decided on. We are going to put our glue in the well from side to side. We're going to spin it over, and you're going to use your stop, rock, and hold. Stop at the contact area, rock forward, and hold it for about 10 seconds. That is going to help your tip adhere. Once you feel like it's adhered pretty well, that actually did really well, let it go. Okay, we're going to use either tip cutters or some scissors. I have scissors today, so we're going to trim our nail. Always hold the tip so it doesn't fly everywhere. And you can cut it. If you have your tip cutters also, you'll still cut with your tip cutters and hold your tip so you don't lose it. So now we're going to shape our tip to our desired length and desired shape. We're just going to do a square today. So I'm going to blend it up with the side. I always hold my thumb on the side of my nail so the file is hitting my thumb and not my client. Always make sure you keep their skin free of any injury. Same on the other side. Use my finger, hold it off the skin. Straight out from the sides. Whatever shape I desire. Now I'm going to use the heavier side of my abrasive. It's the 100 grit. Because we're on the plastic now, we're not on the natural nail. We can reduce the thickness of the plastic tip, not hitting the natural nail. This is how we blend our tips in. So you're going to file the shine off the tip. I'm using the heavier abrasive, the 100 grit, once again, because I'm on plastic, I'm not on the natural nail. So put it right at that seam. Right at that seam. You're taking down the plastic, you're not touching the natural nail. It doesn't need it. So you're still just taking down the thickness on the tip alone. Now you can switch to your finer side to get a little more refined in there. That way if you do hit the natural nail a little bit, the 180 is not going to hurt it, but you try your best not to. because you want it to be blended together, no seams. Long strokes. Use your whole file. Keep off that seam. Off your natural nail, just on that seam. And once you feel like it's blended pretty good, you can go back over with your buffer nail. We're going to graduate our files. Now we can buff across the whole nail, all the way down. And be careful not to crack your tip, because the way it's on here, it's a little extra. All right, so I'm going to file off that area that I cracked with a little bit of lifting, because it was a little wider than my tip, remember I told y'all. But what you're wanting to do is get this center area smooth and blended where there's no gaps. Okay? So if it wouldn't have been for that cracking, then we would have been there. We would have had a smooth nail. There's no gaps from the side. It's just flush, and you won't be able to tell where one starts and the other one stops. That's going to be our goal. Okay? So always remember, start with your 100 side, get your plastic down, come up to your 180 to blend through to the natural nail. That way you buff them together, and then run over it with that buffer to get it good and smooth. Okay? So that's going to be your tip application. Stop, rock, and hold. Never have it too wide, and make sure it's blended smooth to start with.